without love. Careless without love affair, yeah, yeah. Wake up, little darling. Time just won't stand still. Shout out to Johnny Taylor. He's one of the soul philosophers. This your man Rico the Opinionist. I'm just online here looking at some stuff here. Chat CPT. That seems to be the new thing that's popping off. But anyway. It's your man Rico the Opinionist. You know, it's a place where I just share opinions about things. And, you know, I guess there's no right or wrong. It's just my thoughts. And while you're at it, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe, please. I appreciate it. What's it, 11 o'clock? 11:06 on April 7th. And I have just a brief opinion about guns and gun laws, right? But in the meantime, check out the description box right here on this YouTube channel. And you'll see that I have a PDF, a little PDF short story. It's like 50 pages. It was a Miramax. It is called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt, The Conversation with the Absent Biological Father Who Never Wanted to Be Found. It's a story about when I was 22 years old and I accidentally found out who my actual biological father was. And I said accidentally, yes, because I guess it was never meant for me to be informed of that truth. But yeah, it's only $10. It's in a PDF format. If you hit on the Cash App, $ Rico the Opinionist, and please include an email address, and I'll send it right over to you. And by the way, if you read it, you have the purchase and you read it, let me know what you think, because I would really appreciate your feedback. What else? Yeah, that's it. PayPal. You know, if you don't want to, hey, what's up, Ivan? What's good? You know, if you want to, you say, well, I don't really want to purchase the book, but you can still put some in the collection plate if you think what I'm talking about. If you think this channel, this Facebook page, if you think all that is cool. Hey, if you're cool with me, fool with me. Shout out to Raider J back in Memphis, Tennessee. How the hell did I get there? But look, I don't know if you've been paying attention to national news. These mass shootings, particularly in my home state of Tennessee. Nashville has had one. I think a couple years before then, there was a shooting at a Waffle House. And this most recently, this transgender went into the middle school, the elementary school, and killed 6 people, 3 children and 3 adults with an automatic thing. Just shout out the place if you saw the video. And it's interesting, the transgender community had the audacity to try to put something out as if they were almost trying to make a victim of the murderer. I'll tell you that. But anyway, no one cares about that damn community like that. I don't. I'm going to speak for myself. I don't give them that kind of credence. I just think it's just other people who are just, trying to grab power by any means necessary, even to the point of ignoring when their own community, people in their own community is misbehaving badly. So, all this weird anyway. But, and people on both sides of gun laws and gun ownership and non-gun ownership, and most recently in the State House in Nashville, 3 representatives joined in on protesters. They were saying, change the laws, make kids safe, make schools safe. And let's take it back 20 years or so, because this is nothing new to me. I'm 54. And so whenever there's some type of mass shooting in America, they go, this is always just food for politicians. They love this particular issue to jump on. But when you talk about reparations, you can't get this kind of protest and fervor from the very people who jump on the mass shootings or try to exploit, in my opinion, exploit the mass shootings whenever they occur, whenever they happen, to take a shot at the NRA. This country allows all of us who believe to be Americans the right to bear arms. Second Amendment, First Amendment, right to free speech, freedom of assembly, and all of that. And America is a gun toting, shooting, tooting country. And whenever something happens that involves guns, all of a sudden people come out with the woodworks. We need to take the guns off the street. Get the guns away. Guns. And I know there are places in Europe, countries in Europe and all over the world where police officers don't even carry guns. Well, y'all, that kind of behavior, for anybody who wants to bring that example up, that behavior is something that was a part of its inception as it relates to crime and punishment in those other countries. And it's also about the tone of the country. America's always been about shooting those pistols and going at it and going to the court of law and suing people. It's America, baby. Yeah. It's America. And whenever people call for tougher gun laws, I don't understand what they really mean by that. And by the way, y'all, I'm a mental health guy. I'm a social worker for the past 26, 27 years. A little counseling, therapy here and there with substance abuse as well as some mental health here and there. So I'm that guy. And so when I look at it, it's like, when people created the slogan years ago, decades ago, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Even as horrific as mass shootings are. Sometimes I'm in the middle, but then I have to come back and say, if you left a gun on a shelf and people just walk past it, the gun doesn't bother anybody. But you got people who are angry at somebody, people who feel shut out or discarded or disregarded or just angry because someone won't pay them any attention. And if you look at all these situations that when they have the mass shooting, it was something going on with the people that caused them to pick up guns. So you're saying if we make all the guns disappear, just start collecting them all? Well, that's never going to happen. I'm going to tell y'all that. Because legal law-abiding citizens who received or obtained their guns through the appropriate process, they're not going to give their guns up because they didn't do anything wrong. And number two, you're saying, well, it's going to stop crime. Let me tell y'all something. Since the inception of America, has a criminal ever obeyed any laws? I want us to be a little more mature about this. Criminals don't give a damn about laws. That's why they're criminals. And whenever you pass these gun laws, it only seems to impact negatively other law-abiding citizens who go through the appropriate process to receive guns. Now, I am not implying that those who go through the legal and appropriate process to receive guns don't have a bad day or they don't click. I'm not saying that. But the masses, because the person who did the shooting, the woman who was transitioning to a man, baby, well, she went and bought her guns legally, I think. But mentally decided to do something else with the guns. So my point is, instead of, I don't know what you expect the politicians to do legally as it relates to the guns, but what you can do is demand that the politicians spend more money in the mental health. In the 80s, Ronald Reagan stopped the funding for, Mary Max said, why not just get rid of them altogether? Mary Max, I appreciate that idealistic question, but it's not realistic. They're not going to get rid of them, but I'm for any effort to satisfy both sides. I'm for any effort that satisfies both sides. If they can get rid of them altogether, that would be awesome. But the folks who, and then let's say they got rid of all of them. They began a program. They started knocking on people's doors. They started shutting down the gun shops, the pawn shops, and all of this. It's going to be so many lawsuits and people are going to be smuggling. It's going to be a bunch of underground guns. So, but sure, I don't mind. Go get the bulldozer and bulldoze them all into the ocean, to the Mississippi River, into the Caribbean Sea, whatever, to the Gulf of Mexico. No, just push them all over. I'm for that too. But I'm also for pushing funding and hiring people to get boots on the ground to to really get at these people who feel disenfranchised. Because these are the people who are picking up the guns. The people who feel disenfranchised. You know, refund the mental health centers. Empower social workers and therapists to go door to door, to go to schools, to ask them, what's wrong? How you doing? You know, I remember, plenty of videos out there. This one particular one stands out. You know, this young man who was sitting in his BMW, he did a video manifesto. And he was complaining about the young women in his college. Now, handsome young man in a brand new big body, medium body, or like a big body BMW, sitting in his car, really complaining and upset about the women not paying him any attention. You know, they go after all of the jerks who mistreat them, all of the guys who treat them like dirt, and that's who they go with and be with and have sex with them. You know, that's a problem. Why is his self-esteem so low? We have to go into these college campuses, these middle schools, these elementary schools. We have to get to the people. We have to go into the workplace and really fund people. That's their job, to ask people, are you all right? What's going on? Then we have to start funding households that have two parents. We have to start refunding parents. So we throw money everywhere else except for at the real problem. People are killing people. They're using guns, they're using knives, they're using cars, they're using poison, arsenic poisoning. They're doing all kinds of stuff to kill people. So I understand why the guns seem to be at the top of the list when people are using pipes, they're using bats, they're using other people to murder people all the time. So I guess we got to ban every damn thing, right? No more baseball. They banned the bats. No more plumbing in your homes. They banned pipes. You know, no more driving to work. They banned cars. People are using whatever's in front of them. But the gun, I guess the gun is a little quicker. Bow and arrow. People are using all kinds of weapons to murder. And so I would like to see us say, hey, go to these politicians, say, hey, look, we need $50 million so we can fight this thing. Empower social workers, empower LPC therapists, LCSW, LMSW, social workers, psychologists, empower them economically, empower them with programs, fund their programs they have up. Where they can go around and just ask people what's going on. Hold on, Mary Max wrote something. I need to put my glasses on to read again. Mary Max, you gonna cut it out good. She said, and the white boy who was armored to the hilt on the campus of North Carolina A&T this week knew exactly what he was doing. He is just evil and dull and full of hate. So glad he was caught before he killed students on that campus this week. That's right. We have to catch these people. And, and I was hearing where people were suggesting, hey, let's put a police car outside. Let's use some of these millions of dollars instead of in Memphis, trying to build a damn soccer team. Use some of that $746 million to fund officers. Just to park a car out there and have a few officers to just kind of walk to schools. They can be inconspicuous, undercover. They can pose as janitors. Their job is to pose as janitors every day. Someone who's just mopping up and put them in the schools. See, y'all, we're playing games. We know how this stuff is done. We have to fund people to get to address other people. Yes, evil people plan will always find a way to do evil. Right. Evil and mentally ill and emotionally distraught. But you have to have people in order to address or confront these folks. And I say with all the millions of dollars being thrown away to Ukraine, all the millions of dollars is given to Israel, all the millions of dollars that they can throw in pork bellies all over the place, those monies could be used into funding and empowering people in this country to stop the foolishness. The gang stuff can stop tomorrow. In these urban areas, Memphis, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Dallas. It could stop tomorrow. Again, you fund the people. People work. Americans will work. But you can't expect to pay them $18 an hour and work them, 15 hours a day. They're not going to do that. But if you pay them and train people properly, and again, in these middle schools and these high schools, you can have them posed as teachers. You can have them posed as the cafeteria lady. They can be all over the place. You don't know what's going on. You can have them as probably counselors in the school, but they're actually police officers, detectives. And on the streets, in the corner stores, a detective. Or police cars in front of the schools. Because there were people saying, well, I don't want my school, these suburban schools. I don't want my school to look like a prison or a military zone. Well, put a police car in front. You can have uniformed officers, or you can have what's called undercover officers. No, you can have them, remember the show 21 Jump Street? The guy, they looked like they could be in high school, but they were actually, cops. They were like 21, 22 years old. And they could pose as the PE coach. Y'all know what this is. Y'all cut it out. And so it will cut down on the foolishness, because the very person who, Kareem, what's up, man? The very persons who are plotting, they could be plotting with the undercover and they don't even know it. That's how this stuff is done. There's plenty of money in this country to stop a lot of the foolishness. But like people say, crime pays. The evil people not only are the ones who are committing these mass shootings and these gang violence and selling all the dope. The evil people are those who are sitting in these state houses and in the White House, governor's mansion, and all this stuff, who are banking on people acting a fool through murder and violence because it generates revenue for the prisons. And they want to continue to perpetuate poverty because it brings about people for the prisons, products for the prisons. Get it? It's all a game. So this is what we should be talking about. Those of you who want, Mary Max and others who want the guns to be taken out, I'm for that as well. I am. If you think that'll work. But I'm also for using some of this $700 million instead on sports arenas. Put $700 million and invest it into the people, the social workers, the LCSW clinical social workers, the licensed master level social workers, the licensed professional counselors, the PhD psychologists, and caseworkers. Put them all out there. Pay these people about $40 an hour. And that's what they do. Put them out there and have the officers out there trained to go here. And go into these schools. They don't have to have on uniforms. Let's see. Hold on a minute, y'all. Mary Max wrote something else. Got to put my damn glasses on. Mary Max. That's where you need 21 Jump Street undercover. Put them in the legislative houses around the country. Exactly. Yeah, because they need to be monitored as well, right? And so, yeah, that's my whole deal on the whole gunplay. And so, in the state of Tennessee, yeah, you got, and across the country, you have these protests, and one person has been expelled so far from the state of Tennessee. They have 3 people. You have Justin Jones, who's expelled from the State House on yesterday, the 6th. And on Monday, they're going to resume the trial or the expulsion of 2 others, Justin J. Pearson, who's out of Memphis, state representative out of Memphis, and Gloria Johnson, who's out of Knoxville. And so we'll see. We'll be paying attention on Monday to see the fate of those 2 other state representatives in the state of Tennessee. Mary Max, you said both Justins were expelled? No, yesterday, Mary Max, they only got to Justin Jones. They're saving Justin and Gloria for Monday. But maybe the article came up, because I was watching it live, and I called back in Memphis and confirmed that it was just Justin Jones. But Justin J. Pearson and Gloria Johnson will be held over until Monday. But, maybe something happened after the phone call on yesterday. So, but anyway, y'all, everyone has the right to fight on both sides. I tend to take the middle so I can give everybody something to feed off of, something that'll satisfy both. But I do tend to lean more heavily on what I said about funding people to help in this fight to catch these folks before they start doing some foolish things, harming themselves and harming other people. And still, I'll end by saying, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And we need to fund people to address these people. Rico the Opinionist, like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know my PDF short stories out there. Fool with me if you're cool with me. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.